Hello, I'm Donna Kirkendall from Central State University Extension, and today in this episode of Eating Smart, Being Active, we're going to talk about increasing our whole grains, making half our grains whole. Grains are an important part of the food we eat every day. About half of all Americans potentially suffer from chronic diseases, and the food that they eat and that we eat as a whole play a very important role in how we combat and how we manage those chronic diseases. When we talk about the grain group, we are talking about foods such as rice, we're talking about oatmeal, we're talking about cereal, we're talking about quinoa, we're talking about pasta, which is really a common grain that we consume each and every day. The grains really are divided into two groups. We have refined grains and we have whole grains. When we talk about refined grains, the refined grains are referred to as being milled or processed. If you take a look on some of your packaged goods, if it says enriched, if it says milled, if it says refined even, that will be a refined grain that has the bran and the germ removed. When we talk about a whole grain, you get, just as the word suggests, the whole part of the grain kernel. You have the bran, which is packed with fiber. You have the endosperm, which gives us our energy, and in other words, we refer to that as a carbohydrate. Also, we have the germ, which is packed with vitamins and minerals. So when we look at refined grain as opposed to whole grains packs everything that we need. So I tell my audiences and my participants, you don't have to throw away your refined grains. You don't have to throw away your crackers or your white bread or your hamburger buns or your hot dog buns. But it's important to increase your whole grains. So increasing your oatmeal every day, which is really common. But not only that, when you look for cereals that are whole grains, that have everything that is packed within them. The benefit of whole grains is that they pack the fiber and the vitamins and the minerals. Oftentimes, when I have individuals that say, well, whole grains don't have a lot of flavor in them, a way in which we want to address that is cooking your whole grains similar to when you cook rice, but to cook them in a broth. So that would be the chicken or vegetable broth. And then also including some spices. Some spices that I have here, which is really good to use, would be cumin or garlic powder, Italian seasoning. You can enhance the flavor of your grains by cooking them in that broth, adding the seasoning, and then that will take away that bland taste and will give it a variety and will spark up that blue grain, and it won't taste like cardboard, I promise you. When we talk about whole grains, the important thing to remember is how we identify them on the nutrition facts label. So every product that you, packaged product that is, that you get will have a nutrition facts label. And when we want to read that to be able to identify the whole grain. Because looks can be deceiving. When you look at a packaged product, it's going to tell you, of course, what's on the front. But when you turn it over on its side or on the back, and you go to nutrition facts label, you want to drop down to the very bottom where it says ingredients, and where it identifies whole, and then the grain, whether it be oat, whether it be wheat, will indicate that it is a whole grain. And again, as we mentioned before, if it says refined or meal, then it is certainly a refined grain. Storage is absolutely important. We talk about your grains. You want to be sure that you store them in a cool, dry place, thoroughly sealed, and you want to use them within 3 to 6 months. But generally speaking, if you go over that, they're still safe to consume. Bread can be stored at room temperature, but again, when we change seasons and your home becomes warm, you may want to switch those and then put those in the refrigerator for longer storage. Lots of times we go to the grocery store and then we see the sell by date or the best by date. A few days can be extended, so they're safe to consume 2 to 3 days after that. But again, if you want to preserve the life longer, you want to put them in the refrigerator or even the freezer for either longer storage. How much do we need each day? That can be a little bit tricky, but right now we're going to dispel that myth. An ounce equivalent of a grain food has the same amount of a carbohydrate as a sliced bread. So we look at this as being 1 ounce. But then when we look at some other items, such as popcorn, such as cereal, we want to look anywhere from 2/3 to a half a cup to 2/3 cup as being an ounce equivalent. When we talk about our cereals, when we talk about our rice, or we talk about maybe some other grains such as farro, and also couscous or quinoa that I have here. Thank you so much for spending this time with us, and we look forward to the next episode.